95.3 WBCK now presents Coach's Corner, live from Lakeview Ford. For over 6 decades, this has been your number one source for all local sports information. Coach's Corner is proudly presented by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Now, here's your host, Bill Broderick.
Good morning. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. This is Bill Broderick, sports editor of the Enquirer, in the big chair once again on WBCK for Coach's Corner in downtown Battle Creek at Lakeview Ford on the Motor Mile. For more than 6 decades, Coach's Corner has been talking to the city high school coaches about the week in sports, and we will continue to do that as we head into we talk about another week in boys basketball season, our first coach of the morning. But first, here's the Lakeview Ford Coach's Corner scoreboard. The week got started on Monday. St. Phil knocked off Marshall Academy 65-20. On Tuesday, in the Enquirer game of the night, Harbor Creek fell to Portage Central in a non-conference game 60-41. Elsewhere in the city, Vicksburg beat Penfield in a last-minute situation 54-53. St. Phil again had the night to themselves playing on Wednesday, and they earned a 70-58 win over Mendon. Teams were looking to get an early start on the holidays, as most played on Thursday this week, with no city games on Friday last night. On Thursday, in league rivalry game in the Interstate 8 Conference, in the Enquirer game of the night, Marshall got past Penfield 48-39. In other games, Lakeview ran into a tough Kalamazoo Central team and lost 71-51. Harper Creek got a big conference win over Hastings 60-45, and Battle Creek Central lost to a hot shooting Loy Norris club 98-51. We will be back with our first coach of the morning after this break on 95.3 WBCK.
Coach's Corner on 95.3 WBCK. Proudly brought to you by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Here's Coach's Corner.
Bill Broderick back on Coach's Corner here with Coach Burns, the Penfield Panthers. How's it going, Coach?
Good morning, Bill. Doing well.
It's the holiday break. Hey, how do you guys deal with the holidays? You give the boys a couple days off, and you had a game Thursday, so maybe yesterday and a couple days off, but you still have a game during the holidays. So how does that kind of go?
Yeah, with just the way the calendar fell, this year playing Thursday night, we went ahead and gave them Friday off, and then, we'll take the weekend off. Christmas on Monday, so we'll be back in the gym Tuesday afternoon. We'll go Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we're down here at the field house next Thursday, so we'll do a little shoot around before we head over to the field house, and then give them the following weekend off as well for the new year.
You're going to get a chance to get in the field house before that? That's a tough place to shoot the ball a little bit, but you guys are used to it from being there the last couple of years, but is that a little bit of an adjustment for the guys, you think?
Yeah, it will be. It's a little bit different, view of, than a normal high school gym. I do think, last few years having played, at Charlotte and then also at Lumen, all the different levels, freshman, JV, varsity, so the guys that are new on, a varsity squad this year have played in kind of arenas similar to what they'll see, next week, at the field house. So we'll have enough, half-hour warm-up time with the way the game schedules are set. So there'll be plenty of opportunities for them to, get some shots up pregame for sure.
Great. We had a full week for Penfield Panthers. You guys played twice. You played on Tuesday, and you had a non-conference game against Vicksburg. That game kind of went down to the wire. You fell a little short, lost 54-53. Tell us how that game kind of finished up. Looks like you had your chances there at the end.
We did. It was a close game, throughout. Nobody really, separated themselves either way. We'd get a 3 or 4 point lead and then kind of let them back in it. They'd take a 1 or 2 point lead and then we'd get back in it. And just too many mental errors. Kind of talked about it Thursday night after that game, but the guys were just in a generous mood this week, and Tuesday night it was giving up some easy layups to Vicksburg and just lapses defensively, and focus. So so we were gifting layups. We didn't communicate well Tuesday night, and then that came down to haunt us there last shot. We didn't communicate. Missed a couple free throws that would have put us up 4. Didn't communicate on the way down, and the guy steps into kind of a wide open, uncontested 3 that he hits. With 8 seconds left, we got a decent look, at the buzzer, but just didn't fall.
Get some good play in the paint a little bit, especially that night. Jonathan Lake had 16 points and 14 rebounds to lead you. Brevin Bailey had 14 points and 5 rebounds. Jonathan Lake's been playing well for you when the matchups are right, and he can use his size a little bit. Is that right?
Yeah. He's really rounding into a dependable low post, force for us. He's got a good understanding of the game. Growing into the physicality of this level. Has a long ways to go, but we're pleased with kind of the track he has been on. Guys are able to get him the ball in good spots. He's strung together a nice 3-4 game stretch for us so far.
Came back on Thursday and got into Interstate 8 conference play and saw your rivals Marshall. That's been always a good matchup between Marshall and Penfield, dating back to when you guys were winning conference titles, and they won a conference title last year, and 2 nice programs going at it. And that game was close for a long time. Marshall pulled away in the fourth quarter with 148-39, and kind of what you alluded to there earlier, a lot of turnovers for you guys in spurts. I mean, you guys played well for a lot of the game. In fact, you had a big lead in the first quarter, but then there would be some spurts where they would get a lot of turnovers and make a surge on you and take the lead. So those little spots there in the game seem to be haunting you guys a little bit. It
is. We talk every day in practice and games of just cherishing each possession, both offensively and defensively. And we just have, it's kind of been our bugaboo. We've just had too many mental lapses. We have not been consistent in scoring the ball on the offensive side. And then so when we don't take care of the ball and we limit even just the offensive opportunities, and then on the flip side giving them more possessions, we've just kind of been struggling getting out of our own way in that aspect. So you turn the ball over 24 times, which resulted in a handful of easy runouts for Marshall. It's tough when we struggle to score sometimes in the half-court set. Guys played extremely hard. I was really pleased with the intensity and effort that they came through. We just have to get back to just cherishing each possession, staying locked in, focused on the offensive side, and disciplined defensively with our assignments on that side of the ball.
You guys were up 17-8 early. A lot of confidence there. I could see on the floor there. A lot of confidence shooting, getting the ball in the right spots, and guys stepping into jumpers and making a lot of those. And then Marshall goes on its first surge, and they cut it to 19-17 by halftime. And you guys still had the lead, but that took away a little bit of momentum there. And then they go on that little run and start the second half and take the lead to begin with, 24-19, a little 7-0 run, set the momentum for the second half, and that kind of got things going the wrong way for you. Then they do another little 9-2 run to start the fourth quarter. They put you behind double digits. Beyond the turnovers there, something Marshall was kind of doing in terms of their defense that was giving you guys a little trouble, or is it mostly we have to take care of our own business first?
I don't think it was too much, that Marshall did. They, they started hitting shots, and they did increase the pressure a little bit there in the third quarter. But a lot of those were unforced turnovers, and so we feel if we can just kind of take care of ourselves and eliminate those lapses, we would have been fine, Thursday night, and we'll be fine moving forward. But it's a big step. It's a big step that the guys have to be able to overcome and just slow things down, emotionally, and you get a little bit frantic, and we just don't trust maybe the play or the set that we're running. The guys stayed in it. They could have folded. We would have those 4 or 5 possessions where we did not get even a good look at all, or a look at all, and then come down and have to, defend each time.
one thing about Marshall is they have a lot of length, but they don't necessarily use their length in the paint. They have some 6'5" guys, but they like to shoot it from the outside. Austin Miller is one of those, 6'5", 6'6", and he has 17 points to lead them in that game. Xavier Russ is a tall point guard. He drives the ball a little bit, but doesn't look like he's not posting up or anything. He has 17 points also in that game. But they can shoot over the top, and that seems to be the way they want to win games. Calvin Pisons for you had 12 points and 5 rebounds. Zachary Walling, Jonathan Lake each had 8 points a game. Lake, again, used his size and grabbed 10 boards. You guys fell to 2-6 on the season, and kind of the break here allows you guys maybe to have a reset. Is this a good time to have a break for you?
Yeah. We spent a lot of time Wednesday, in the film room and just kind of breaking things down and piece by piece of the possessions from, Tuesday night Vicksburg game. And we were pleased with some of the steps we took Thursday and just the willingness to compete a little bit harder in Thursday's game. So this break gives us a chance to kind of sit back and kind of reorganize things. We'll come and get after it pretty hard again, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then hopefully, see some more progress on Thursday down at the Fieldhouse.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Playing Battle Creek Central at the Fieldhouse is kind of a bucket list game for a lot of people in terms of it's a historic place to play, and then you get to play the Bearcats and doing that. Is that a game you guys kind of look forward to the last couple of years? Yeah,
it's a great opportunity to be able to play over the holidays. It breaks it up, so you're just not spending, 2 straight weeks, practicing. So gives the guys something to look forward to, chance to go down there, play in a different environment, play in front of, different fans around the community. So the guys are really excited about it.
All right, well, we're not going to have a show next week, Coach's Corner, but we'll all be back here the first week in January. And we'll be talking about games on the Fieldhouse and the Chuck Turner Classic at that point. And we'll look forward to some good news for you, Coach. Thanks for coming down. We'll be back with our next Coach of the Morning on WBCK 95.3.
Coach's Corner on WBCK, brought to you by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Now back to the show.
Hey, this is Bill Broderick of the Battle Creek Enquirer here at Coach's Corner, and we're back with our next Coach of the Morning. We're here with Coach Bowling of the Harbor Creek Beavers. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Bill.
We had, I was asking Coach Burns the same thing. How do you guys kind of deal with the break when it comes up? You guys played on Thursday. You play again next Thursday. Give the boys a couple days off for the holidays and get away from the court a little bit. Is that not a bad thing?
No, I mean, it's not a bad thing. We practiced yesterday, and then we'll have the 3 days off. It's just, for me, doing it as long as we have, I have a hard time letting them go for more than 3 days, because I think we kind of lose some conditioning and lose our legs a little bit, and some of the things that we worked hard to gain kind of can slowly disappear after that. So we try 3 days is kind of our limit. So they get 3 days off here, and then we'll give them 3 days off next week and a weekend, and away we go.
And tell them to take it a little bit easy on the desserts there.
Yeah, we preach, I mean, they're young enough now they can get away with whatever they want to eat, but we try to steer them away from the pop the best we can.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So,
Harbor Creek had a full week. You guys played twice, and you guys played at home on Tuesday. Non-conference opponent, a pretty good Porter Central team came in, and then you fell short 60-41. It was a game that Porter Central, like I said, they're a real good team, some good shooters and some good athletes, and that kind of showed itself. But the thing that game kind of came down to was that Porter Central was getting hot at certain times, and at the same time, you guys were finding it a little bit tough to put the ball in the hole at those times, and those little surges kind of took over the game and put you behind there, and you weren't able to catch up. So those little things is that you got to kind of avoid longer surges of not putting the ball in the hole and maybe being a little bit more consistent. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I was very pleased how we played defensively that night and how we took care of the basketball. I think we only had 7 or 8 turnovers that evening. We did a good job. Like I said, we held them to 60. They're normally scoring 70 plus. So I thought we did a decent job there. You kind of said it. They methodically just pulled away from us, and we kind of, as coaches after that game, kind of talked about what can we go to, give us a couple go-to sets or a couple go-to guys where if we need a bucket, what can we do, what can we run, kind of developing those things moving forward, so we can go and kind of cut some of those as you said, those surges down a little bit and cut those runs down so we don't have those scoring droughts as much. So that's something we're going to work on and develop over break, a couple go-to things. But as a whole, I mean, you wouldn't think you lose by, 19. You're real excited about it, but it didn't feel like that to us. They were better than us, and their size and their length took its toll over time, but they didn't run away from us. They just kind of methodically pulled away, and we did a good job of hanging in there and staying within striking distance as long as we did. But the lack of offensive production there kind of got us.
Yeah, I think I heard you say that a couple of times coming in and out of timeouts there. You said, you were doing fine, guys. We just need a basket here, We get one basket here that get us going in the right direction again, and that's hopefully getting the set going your way, and then getting open look and having it go down. You guys are getting the sets and then getting the open looks and not having them go down.
Yeah, that was the frustrating part you just nailed. Is we were getting good looks, quality looks. The right guys were getting the looks, and from inside and out. So our execution was good. We're just still struggling a little bit that evening to score.
You got down 29-18 at halftime, and then had a chance to kind of make a run, dig into that in the third quarter, and that didn't happen. And then Porter Central, like you said, kind of pulled away there at the end. Braden Best, who's been coming on for a little bit lately, at 13 points. Braxton List has been a little bit more consistent for you. Has been a go-to guy and shooting from the outside. He had 10. And but then the Beavers kind of looked forward to Thursday night when you get back into conference play. You guys played Hastings and came away with a win. Getting a win in conference play is huge in terms of getting some momentum and getting some confidence for the guys there, right? Yeah,
that definitely. It was a nice night for us, how we played. Kind of controlled the game, actually, from start to finish. Defensively, we did a nice job. I think we turned them over close to 20 times. We did an okay job of taking care of the ball, not as well as we did on Tuesday. But we shot the ball like we've been like we're capable of, and it kind of came through. We had 9 first half threes. Not that you ever expected to get 9.5, but I thought we would be somewhere between 5 to 9 every game. We finished with 12 threes on the night, so we shot the ball very well and did a good job of executing down the stretch, and I was pleased with how we played. It was a good way to go into a few days off.
You guys started the season slow, but now you won 2 out of the last 3, and including that win over Hastings. And like you mentioned, it's just a matter of getting some confidence with the guys and getting things to click with this new group and how they've kind of come together and seeing some of the ball shots go down. Like you said, some three-pointers go down a little bit more, which you kind of leaned on the last couple of years. And is that you getting that feeling also a little bit?
Yeah, I think we're starting to figure some things out, and things are starting to gel a little bit. But the big thing is kind of like what you said. We're figuring some things out and understanding the game a little bit better, and we've been minimizing our own mistakes. So that's been good. Our defense is improving, and offensively, we're starting to gain a little bit more consistency. And like I said, we're still looking to clean that up. But as a whole, I think we're moving in the right direction. And I Coach Castleman and I are looking forward to and excited about what we're seeing right now.
In that 60-45 win over Hastings, Braxton List had 17 points. That's a big chunk for him. And then Braden Best again came up with 11 points. And that has you guys going at 2-6 into the break there. And you get to go downtown a little bit and play in the Chuck Turner Classic there next Thursday against your rival Lakeview. That's always a fun game between Lakeview and Harper Creek playing whenever they played. And you guys used to play in the league. You used to play twice a year, now only once. Playing there on that showcase game, how fun is that for you guys?
I mean, it's kind of nice because, before we moved it down there, like I said, we played two exciting games most of the time, and then we were playing like on a Tuesday night. So Steve and I talked about that and moving the game downtown, and that's been kind of nice to add some of that electricity that used to be we'd have on a consistent basis and playing that game down there. So 6 o'clock game, those guys down there are playing real well at Lakeview. Steve's doing a great job this year, and those guys we're going to have our hands full. A lot of size and athleticism and skill. So we got a good challenge, but it's cool to coach against Wick as long as we've been doing it together, and it's always enjoyable to share court with them.
And that court especially, I'm sure the guys that grow up around here, a lot of them know the kids from Broderick Central and played with them, and know the kids from Lakeview especially also, and know that place growing up hearing about the field house. Is that something the kids have a little buzz about when this game kind of gets near? Yeah,
I think everybody kind of likes to be under one roof, kind of check each other out, and we'll maybe be able to see Central and Penfield right after us at the 8 o'clock game, and a lot of games before us. So it is kind of cool to have all the kids under one roof that could see each other and have a little fun and have some bragging rights going on at the same time.
It'll be a fun night there down the field house. Valley Creek Central hosting that, and the Lakeview and Harbor Creek getting it on there, and a nice rivalry game. Have a happy holiday, Coach, and we'll catch up with you a little bit after the break.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and all the listeners.
We'll be back with our next Coach of the Morning on WBCK 95.3.
Coach's Corner on 95.3 WBCK. Proudly brought to you by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Here's Coach's Corner.
Yeah, we're back on our next Coach of the Morning on Coach's Corner here. Coach Kimber of the St. Phil Fighting Tigers. How's it going, Coach?
Morning, Bill.
Thanks for coming down. We're close to the holidays, and everyone's busy this time of year, but we can talk a little hoop today and have a little fun doing that. St. Phil had a busy week. You guys played twice. Played on a Monday and a Wednesday. Everyone else is trying to play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You guys wanted to show to yourself, which worked out well for you. A couple of wins. St. Phil played Marshall Academy on Monday and won 65-20. Kind of a one-sided effort there, but balanced scoring for you guys there. Colt Myers had 16 points. Jackson Diswick had 14 and 8 assists, and Lincoln Diswick 13 points. That's the kind of game that you wanted to get up early and set the tone early for a Marshall Academy team that maybe struggled a little bit. And how important was that for you guys in that game?
That was real important, especially after the Bellevue game last Friday. We wanted to, set the tone early, like you said, and just kind of get a big lead and let some guys get some playing time. And then we had a big one on Wednesday, and so I wanted to rest some legs when I could. And so it was a nice effort all night long. We forced a lot of turnovers on their end, and so we had a lot of turnovers for touchdowns, as I like to call them, and so it was a great effort.
It's also a confidence building one, I imagine, a team there, and see the ball go through the basket a lot there, no matter who the opponent is, and is that something that you can lean on a little bit in those kind of games, where the guys, they're smiling when they come down the court, and they're kind of high-fiving everyone because the basket's going on and they're seeing the score go up. That's always a good thing to have, a good thing to see as a coach, right?
Yeah, me and my JV coach, we talked about that as well. It was, especially after the performance we had against Bellevue, it was very nice to, have a game like that where, everyone could get involved and everyone could get a little confidence boost, and so it was a plus.
You guys came back on a Wednesday and played a pretty good Menden team, and then put up a big number. You guys won 70-58 in that game, and Menden had come in with a winning record, and Jackson went off again, and he's done that a couple of times this year. He had 34 points. His brother Carter had 22 points. When Jackson's shooting like that, and we've seen that a couple of times this year, and he gets hot and he gets the confidence, and it feels like he has the green light a little bit going, St. Phil can be a dangerous team. Is that what you're seeing a little bit?
Yeah. He made 8 threes, so I didn't want to put that in the paper for you because I didn't want too many coaches getting that scouting report. But yeah, he when he's shooting, he's got a little heater on him. When he puts up shots, it looks good when he's having those types of nights. Like everything looks like it's about to go in. So we love to see it.
And when that's not happening, it's a different team. So that's kind of what you guys kind of find when you want to get him going or anyone going. It doesn't have to necessarily be him, but when you guys are shooting from the ball from the outside, because you guys don't have a lot of size. When you're shooting the ball from the outside, St. Phil can gain some confidence, and that's kind of what you're going to have to lean on maybe the rest of the year, right? Is that you're looking to get those shots and get them to go down, and then build on that confidence and make that a more consistent thing for your team. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think we also found ourselves a little bit against Mendon with pushing the pace. Colt Myers did a fantastic job of getting out in transition. We had, a great effort from Sawyer Weiss on the rebounding end. He had 10 rebounds, and he was kicking it out to Colt, and Colt was getting out in transition. And so it was, Jackson shot well, but it was a very balanced night. 34 points is a lot. So
yeah, right. Good defense. Yeah, right. You go into the holidays at 4-2. And like we said before, that's a young team that with some experience. 4-2 has you feeling pretty good about this break there. Talk about giving yourself a little bit of a grade at 4-2 right now. You have to feel like you like what you see right now. Yeah, I like what I see.
Obviously, I'm going to hang up on the Bellevue game, and so would have liked to see a better one there. But no, overall, I feel like our whole team is doing terrific right now. Finally got to see Carter get his offensive game going. He's been kind of in a little bit of a slump to start the season, going off on a Wednesday, so that was nice. But it's pretty much I'd give ourselves a pretty good grade.
There you go. And the holidays are here now, and the guys have a couple days off. Do you have some concerns about giving them too many days off before you get rolling again, or how do you deal with that as a coach?
Yeah, no, I heard Coach Bowling mention having the 3 days off. We do the same thing, and so we have today, tomorrow, and Monday off, and then we practice Tuesday, Wednesday before we play Union City on Thursday, and then we get a few days off thereafter going into the new year. But, my biggest concern is, losing conditioning, because, we put a lot of emphasis on that early in the season. And so kind of making sure we don't lose that. It's a nice little break. But at the same time, the way we're playing, I'd like to play some more games.
Yeah, that's all right. You mentioned that you're playing Union City to kind of kick things off there at the field house next Thursday. It's a full slate of basketball that day. A lot of fun for basketball fans. You guys are playing Union City. What do you know about them so far, and excited about maybe starting that day off and then putting on a good show?
Yeah, no, what I've seen is they're athletic. They're not too tall, so I'm not too concerned about them winning the size battle on us. But I haven't seen too much film on them. I have a little bit, but they're athletic, and they like to get out in space, and they'll press us all game long, and so we're going to have to take care of the basketball. We can't have a 20-plus turnover night like we did against Bronson in order to have success against Union City, but it'll be a good challenge for our boys.
You guys have a kind of a historic gym to play in yourselves all the time. Sheila Guerra Gymnasium, and people look forward to playing in that place. It's kind of a unique kind of place itself. People kind of wonder if it's regulation linked sometimes. I think people ask about that sometimes.
A little short.
But playing at the field house is another animal. It's another chance to play in those kind of games. Do you kind of emphasize to the kids how cool that is, you growing up yourself in this area, and how much fun that it should be for them, and for them to kind of soak it in a little bit?
Yeah, no, we talked about that at the end of practice yesterday, how it's a special venue to play in. I always like going into the field house even just to go watch basketball games for Central or anything like that. And so just put an emphasis on the importance of it, and the nostalgia of the Chuck Turner Classic. So they understand that it's an important game, and it would be a fun one to win. I think we've only won it once since we've been playing in it, so it'd be nice to really get a win there.
Let's look forward to doing that. Maybe let's get a St. Phil win on that Thursday to kick things off for the city teams, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll talk about the second half of the season when we get to that point. Thanks, Coach, for coming on down. We'll be back with our next
Coach
of the morning on WBCK 95.3 right after this.
Coach's Corner on WBCK, brought to you by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Now back to the show.
Hey, Coach, let's Bill Broderick back on Coach's Corner. We're back with our next coach of the morning here, Coach Wickman of the Lakeview Spartans. How's it going, Coach, this morning?
Wonderful, Bill. How are you?
We're doing real well.
Great.
How the holidays going for you so far?
So far, so good. Yeah.
You got some last minute.
The greatest invention ever is the internet, so the shopping stuff is, it's changed my whole life.
That's right, exactly, yeah.
Cause I'm always, I remember being out on, tomorrow's Christmas. Yeah, I'd have been out tomorrow shopping all day somewhere. So, good thing for the internet, and I think I'm in pretty good shape right now.
You always, sometimes you have to wonder if the packages are going to get there in time. Sometimes a little stressed that way, but as long as you really know,
yeah, as long as you think ahead a little bit, and you got to sit down on a Saturday after Coach's Corner for an hour and plug in some numbers, and then hope everything comes on at the right time.
Right, yeah. Right. Lakeview Spartans only played once this week. You guys played Kalamazoo Central, always a tough team to play. You lost 71-51 there. It's a game that was real tight at halftime. Lakeview trailed just 35-30. Still close at the third quarter. Kalamazoo Central outscored you 17-6 in the fourth quarter, kind of pull away. Talk about what happened there. You guys played well for the long time against a real good team, and then fell a little short there. What happened there in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it honestly started in the third quarter. The third quarter, it was a 2 and 4 point game the entire quarter. And, we spent about an hour with the film yesterday together as a team. And, we made a lot of uncharacteristic mental mistakes in the third quarter. The more we looked at it, the more we realized we actually should have been winning the game in the third quarter at some point. But a turnover here or a missed assignment there, things that just come with practice. We're just going to have to continue to work hard in practice and get those things figured out. But it was disappointing, the way that went down and then the way the score ended up, because I'm sure, most people are looking at the score and going, oh, another 20-point win for Kalamazoo Central. Well, it was like I said, it was 2 points, 4 points. In the whole third quarter, they hit a shot not at the buzzer, but the last minute to go up 9 to go into the fourth. I think we played really, really well. I think we had our chances, and I just don't think we took advantage of enough of our chances.
Kalamazoo Central is a good team, and they're undefeated still, and as always, they're always going to put a good product on the floor. Is Kalamazoo Central the team that we've seen in the last several years that they're at that level, and you guys play at that level yourselves also? But give us a little scouting report as Kalamazoo Central.
They're pretty big. They go 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", so they got 3 guys inside that. If you break down their defense on the perimeter, you get inside and you have to deal with that. So that's part of their equation this year that hasn't always been like that. And then they have, I would say, 3 or 4 really good quick guards that penetrate well and defend well. I'm not sure how well they shoot it yet, but somebody will find out. Somebody will play zone against them and make them figure out if they can shoot or not. So they're a well-rounded team. They're pretty good, but I am looking forward to getting them in our gym next time.
LeBron Campbell went off again. He's been having a real good season for you. 29 points against Kalamazoo Central, and kind of probably in his element, an up-tempo game there, and is able to drive the lane, and that's what he does really well. And 29 points from him. He had another game earlier in the year where he was getting those high 20s himself. Talk about LeBron Campbell a little bit, and he's kind of stepped forward for you this year, taking another step. He was good last year, but taking another step this year. And that's been key for you. Yeah,
he's our best offensive player. There's no question about it. He can do things that other people can't do, handling the ball wise, creating his own shots, getting to the basket. Some of the shots he makes getting to the basket, I'm not sure how they go in. We were watching film yesterday on one of his shots. I'm like, how did you make that? It just he's just a basketball player. Tough-nosed kid, plays really, really hard. Doesn't ever want to come out the game. I have to beg him to come out the game. But he's a good defender. I think he had 4 or 5 steals against Kalamazoo Central as well. And his game has just gone from pretty good last year to really good this year. And I kind of think the sky's the limit for him as far as basketball goes. He's got potential to be a really good basketball player, and he already is a really good basketball player. But we had a conversation after the game with the team about LeBron's our guy that's going to get the most shots because he's going to, he just is, and that's the rest of you have to love that, embrace that. And, so we got to do a little soul searching on roles, I think. So get everybody straightened out on that.
Well, he has a good frame for his size and also with his handle there. That combination there makes him a real tough player. And maybe, like you're alluding to, could allow him to maybe play at the next level. In that you get a lot of kids that could play 29 points, but they're 5'9" or whatever, and they can't play.
Yeah.
So, but LeBron has good shoulders and good size there, and that kind of makes it a potential for him, right? Yeah,
I think so. I think the one thing that he could do to help himself a lot is get in the weight room a little bit more and get stronger, because he's getting banged around a lot. He's hitting the floor a lot, and hopefully he doesn't get worn out as the season goes on. We got to try to get him a few more breaks during games and keep him fresh. But like I said, he doesn't like to come out. Nobody likes to come out, but LeBron hates to come out. So
4-2, kind of at the break here. Good start to this season. Talk about that a little bit. This is kind of a mile marker for a lot of teams when they get to the holidays. And 4-2, you have to kind of like where Lakeview is right now. Right?
Yeah, I'm fairly pleased with where we're at. Our first couple games were pretty rough, ugly games, as we were kind of feeling ourselves out and trying to figure out who we were a little bit. And luckily, maybe not luckily, but fortunately, we won those games. So, you never know. And you win a game by 3, and it's the first or second game of the year. You never know for sure if what if you lost that game? How does that play out? And so I'm glad to be 4-2. I think we've played two of the better teams around here in Kalamazoo and Portage Central. I think those two teams are going to win a lot of games between the two of them. But we have a lot of work to do. We've got to get way better on defense. We've got to get guys to understand roles on offense a little bit more. And I heard Matt talking a little bit earlier. We don't really have we have a go-to guy, but we don't have necessarily another go-to set of plays, or we got to find our identity on offense a little bit, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's always a key when you get in that drought, and then you want to run this play that you're going to be able to get a basket, or throw it to a guy who's going to be able to post up and turn around and hit a layup there, and then take you out of that 7-0 run or whatever. That's big, right? Yeah,
and I think we've got some pieces inside that we just need to continue to work with them and be able to get shots from, or not, be able to get baskets from our bigs a little bit more. That would be nice.
You got a big game next week at the Chuck Turner Classic next Thursday. One of the fun games of the night, Lakeview versus Harper Creek. It's always fun to play Harper Creek. Whenever that happens and playing at the field house, I know it's something that you look forward to. Right?
Yeah, it's always fun. We kind of make a day of it. Team will go to breakfast together and do all that kind of stuff. And
where's that going to be? I get hungry that
day. I will let you know, Bill. Right. You can be an honorary guest at our breakfast. But if you do that,
Bill's Bites, I know it's some good breakfast places for you.
You're going to have to give a speech though if you come and do that. So, but we'll do that, and then we'll play the game, and then the exciting thing about that is any basketball fans in Battle Creek will be down there that night to watch either our game or the next game or both probably. And I think Lauren did a nice job of finally realizing that it makes more sense for us to play at 6 and for them to play at 8 than to play a girls game in between. Nothing against the girls, but just I think people want to come and be able to sit down and watch 2 games if they can. So, we're looking forward to that, and then we're doing something I've never done before. We're going to turn around the next week and play 2 more.
I noticed,
which is kind of different for us, and I'll let you know in a couple of weeks whether I like it or not. The idea of going to a tournament, though, and playing for something and playing for a championship maybe over in that second or that first week of January, that second week of break, was intriguing to me. We were invited, and I said, let's try it. So we'll go play Sturgis on the first day, and then we play the winner of Jackson County Western and Loy Norix, who I saw scored 98 points the other night. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, we have never done this. It's usually, play a game at the field house and then practice a bunch and move forward. And so, like I said, I'll let you know in a couple of weeks whether I bit off too much or whether it was good for us. I'm looking forward to, though, just something a little bit different and going over there and competing for a championship.
That'll be a lot of fun to talk about, and we'll do that again after we get back. Like I said, we're off the next Saturday, but we'll be back the following Saturday, and we'll talk about the big games down at the field house and about the second half of the season. Thanks, Coach, for coming on down.
Thanks, Bill.
We'll be back with our next Coach of the Morning here after this break on 95.3 WBCK.
On 95.3 WBCK, proudly brought to you by Lakeview Ford, where community matters. Here's Coach's Corner.
This is Bill Broderick of the Battle Creek Enquirer, back here on Coach's Corner. We're here with our next Coach of the Morning, Coach Crum of the Battle Creek Central Bearcats. How's it going, Coach?
Going well.
Hey, great, Coach. Battle Creek Central only played once this week. Is that right? Only played on Thursday, right? We ran into a hot shooting Loy Norix team, lost 98-51 in that game. That's what happens sometimes. You run into a team that they can't miss, and then the game kind of gets away from you a little bit. We'll talk briefly about that game, but we'll talk about the holiday tournament coming up a little bit more. But talk about that game real quick and how that kind of happens on certain nights, and it doesn't really necessarily define the whole season, but it can be a tough that night. Is that right?
Yeah, well, it appeared that they had one of their better nights. I'm sure they shot the ball pretty doggone well. It's difficult for us to score on the other end.
There you go.
Yeah, so Loy Norix shot the ball really well that night. Made it difficult for us to stay close. Just one of those nights. I mean, some nights the ball falls, some nights it doesn't. For them on that night, it just seems like they couldn't miss.
You guys are looking for some people to be go-to players for you. Talk about who kind of stepped up for you there and who you're hoping to lean on in the second half of the season a little bit more.
Yeah, well, we're really still trying to figure that out. I don't know that we have anyone that we can really that can really carry the team. So we're gonna have to find some success in perhaps different people being able to show up throughout the season. I don't know that I can honestly say what one guy we're gonna get the most out of. I mean, Josh Harris plays as consistent as anybody that we have, and Mike Mosley is starting to come around as well. So if there's anybody, it would be those two.
You guys are still looking for your first win of the season. Talk about how that kind of what you have to kind of balance in terms of talking to the kids, at practices and at games, about that not weighing too heavily on them. The win's going to come. You have to let them know, and then they just have to focus on that game at hand, right? They can't worry about the overall thing.
Yeah, and more so than focusing on the game at hand. I think for our guys right now, the biggest issue is focusing on us getting better each day. I mean, we have a lot of work to do, and the wins will come eventually, but there's things that you have to do to get to that point, and we're still trying to learn how to come in and work hard every day with the focus on getting better, not necessarily winning a game.
The big thing to look forward to for everybody is the Chuck Turner Classic coming up in downtown at the Field House, which is a lot of fun. Everyone gets excited about that. You guys have the highlight game of the night on Thursday, playing city rival on Penfield at 8 o'clock on Thursday. That whole night, that whole day there, St. Phil plays Union City at noon. We have at 2 o'clock, Harbor Creek will play Lakeview in a girls' game, and at 4, Battle Creek Central will play St. Philip in a girls' game at 4. The evening session will start with a boys' basketball doubleheader, Harbor Creek and Lakeview playing at 6. And like I said, you guys kicking or ending things with Battle Creek Central playing Penfield at 8. I know we've talked about this before, but that is a fun day for everybody, especially Battle Creek Central alum, coming down to the field house and watching the Chuck Turner Classic. Is that right?
Yeah, without a doubt. That's a long lineup for one day, a lot of basketball, and definitely for basketball fans. It's a great day, a great opportunity to get out and watch some kids compete. We look forward to it every year. And once again, we're hoping that the fans can get out and that they can watch some good ball.
I know you usually play back-to-back. Ypsilanti pulled out of that game, and the last I had heard a couple days ago, you still were looking for an opponent. Is that off the table? You're not worried about it anymore? You're trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat here in the last couple of days here?
We're digging deep for the rabbit.
All right, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Find out if you can play another game. But the one game against Penfield will be a lot of fun. City rivalry game. Folks from both sides will be there. The Harbor Creek Lakeview game right before it, so a lot of fans from those two teams will stick around and watch the Bearcats play. A full house at the field house. There's not much better atmosphere in the state than that, really. And talk about what that kind of means to you, being part of that for so many years.
So much history and tradition with the Chuck Turner Classic that it's just good to be a part of it. And every year we really look forward to it. The guys look forward to it. They know it's going to be a couple nights of them being on center stage pretty much. And like you say, I can't think of one tournament throughout the state that is as big and probably as long lasting as the tournament that we have here at Battle Creek Central in the Chuck Turner Fieldhouse. Yeah,
closing in on 60 years, and it's awesome that Chuck Turner's name gets to still be associated with that. He's such a legend in this area, an icon for basketball, and it'll be a lot of fun for that. And we'll look forward to that. We'll be down there for all those games, as will you, Coach, and we'll look forward to talking to you the next time we get together about that game and the second half of the season. Thanks a lot for coming down, Coach.
All right, Bill.
That's it for us here at Coach's Corner. Like I said, we'll be off next weekend, but we'll be back the first Saturday in January. Everyone have a happy holiday and a Merry Christmas. This has been Coach's Corner on WBCK 95.3.